Like Justin Bieber's got his shirt tucked in, bro. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're all here. Welcome to a new video. My name is Kiki. If you are new here, hi, hello, welcome, come on in. In today's video, we are going to be doing part 3 of my series, using astrology to find your personal style. Part of the process of putting together this video, I now have a Pinterest board of over 3,000 pins for all of the 12 signs, and I don't see why I shouldn't, give you guys accesses. I think it really gives a better overview. I'm more of a visual learner myself, so it's better to kind of see the outfits all together to kind of grasp each sign's essence. So this plus a little short guide which basically just condenses all the information across the whole series that I'm putting together for the astrology and personal style content. Yeah, this will be available for like a short fee of like £3, something like that. I don't know, but it won't be much, and if you want it, I will only make it available if there is demand for it. So let me know by either commenting below or sending me an email, and I will make that available for purchase. So in today's video, we are going to cover the next 4 signs. So that includes Leo, Virgo, Libra and Scorpio. So if you have any of those placements, then this is the video for you. Or if you're just interested in astrology and its relation to fashion in general, then hi, welcome. You are also included here too. If you want to know how to apply this to yourself fully, then you will want to go to part 1 of this whole series, because it explains how to implement each placement that you have in accordance to figuring out your individual personal style. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I have to let you know before we begin this video. If not, it will be inside it already, but let's get straight into it. Okay, hey there Leo placements, welcome to your part of the video looking at astrology through your sign and how it can be represented or be expressed through the sign of Leo. If you see me looking like glancing over in that direction, it's because that's where my notes are. But hi Leo, first of all I want to show you quickly a mood board that I created for you guys. You can take a look at this, get an overall vibe, think about what kind of parts of the mood board stand out to you. Is it the colors? Is it the style in general? Is it the patterns or the prints? I don't know, but let me know what stands out to you, or consider what stands out to you, and then think about where Leo is, where your Leo placement is. Like, is it your sun, moon or rising, and then how that's correlating. This is just kind of give you an overall vibe of what we have coming up. So Leo is the energy of the sun. It is naturally vibrant. This energy doesn't hold back, because it literally can't. Like, it has to be seen even when it doesn't want to be. And I feel that in terms of colors, when it comes to your personal style, this really looks like an expression through colors such as yellow, because of the rulership of the sun, orange, red, gold. I feel like gold with that representation of like status and wealth and power and royalty and that type of thing, which you can see associated with the energy of Leo. Like a pale yellow, almost like a chamomile color, ochre, or obviously the standard black and white, because of those. Just a full spectrum of colors, because Leo basically represents light almost, and that is the full spectrum of colors. So in terms of how these colors then interact with each other, it is very much so that bold, full vibrancy of color here. There is no beating around the bush, there is no hiding with Leo placements. I find that if you have a Leo placement anywhere in your chart, it's going to be shown somewhere. You're going to stand out in some way. And the same goes for the colors that you should be wearing. Although I have picked kind of like a more yellowy, gold, orange, that kind of range of colors for you guys, ultimately in physics, visible light contains the full spectrum of colors. So you guys also can play around with different colors. Any colors that you would see in the rainbow, like that kind of idea, would really work well with you guys. So So how this fits on your body, in the same way that the sun emits light, for you guys, your clothing should be projected from your body, come away from your body. And this may play out in the way of like balloon sleeves or a peplum or flare trousers or something like that, something that shows it coming away, flaring out, expanding. Even things like pronounced shoulders, very structured or pronounced shoulders. For your patterns and prints, the first one I have for you guys is like leopard, cheetah, tiger print, big cats, you know, because big cats are associated with the sign of Leo. So wearing that in your clothing really brings out your inner roar. Really represents your power. The perfect example of this is Kylie Jenner at the Schiaparelli show in Paris. She went to a fashion show in Paris and she wore like this giant lion on her, and she has a Leo sun, and I think that was just a perfect example of the way that Leos can have this inner lion or tiger about them. When it comes to fabrics, again, working with the whole big cats idea, fur really is a nice fabric on you guys. It's about that warmth, and the overcoat of a big cat is fur. And it'll be really fun if you play around with brighter colors, more vibrant colors when it comes to playing with this fabric. And I also think feathers as well for you guys. I mean, big birds are actually associated by your opposing sign, which is Aquarius. However, I think the symbolism of the way that the kind of puffing of feathers on birds, for example, a peacock or something like that, or usually it's the colorful birds who are doing the kind of courting and mating and trying to bring attention to themselves, I think is very Leo in nature. And you know, trying to attract a mate, which is very much so 5th house energy, where you're kind of dating and courting and trying to get attention. So I think the concept of feathers is very much so associated with your sign, and brings a lot of attention to you in a positive way. Looks really nice on you guys, works well with you. Another fabric I think really works well with you guys are fabrics that kind of have that glitter or sequin effect to it, because it naturally reflects all that light from it, draws attention to it. You know, Leo is the performer, and often you see a lot of performers, especially like Dua Lipa. She has a Leo sun, Venus and midheaven. So if you want to know how a Leo can be expressed, then you should take a look at her style of dressing, especially on stage. But yeah, so Leo is the performer, and you often see those kind of celebrities wearing lots of glitter and sparkles when they're on stage, because that's cute. It makes them stand out. Another fabric, Leo's got a lot of fabrics, okay, but another fabric I find really associates with your sign of Leo is a velvet, because of its association with royalty. If you think about a crown, particularly like in British crowns, they often have velvet and gold on them, and also fur as well. So all those kind of elements that I've really associated with your sign. Okay, we got another fabric, guys. You guys got a lot of different fabrics to play with, but I wanted to get creative here. So also this other fabric that I found the name of, which is taffeta. So this fabric has a lot of structure to it, and thus it brings a lot of drama to the clothing. You know, like you can really do the whole big structured sleeves, the kind of peplum style, the drawing away from the body, being loud and bigger. It's also used in more formal garments as well, such as proms, evening gowns, wedding dresses, as well as theatrical costumes as well, which is very Leo in nature. moving on to the style and aesthetics that I like to associate with your sign. In terms of styling, Leo likes to stand out from the crowd, or it does stand out from the crowd. Even if you have other placements, there is something about your style that is particularly unique to you. Leo is also the sign of popularity, so you may have the latest or most expensive pieces as well, particularly if you have Leo in that second house, because that is about that also represents your spending habits. In terms of body parts, Leo actually rules over the shoulders and the top of the back. So again, very structured shoulders, or you know, shoulder pads working in with your design. Anything that's a little bit lower cut on the back as well, showing the top of your back. So Doja Cat actually has a Leo midhaven. I think you can see that a lot in her style when it comes to her really standing out, being known for her fashion and style. She has Libra placements as well, so that's why it also plays in here. I realized I didn't explain that well. So Leo 10th house being what you're popular or well known for, we look to the planetary ruler, which is the sun. Doja Cat has a Libra sun, so Libra is all about that fashion and style, or rules over our fashion, so being well known for your fashion and styling. And you know, Libra represents that kind of fashion and stuff like that. Her style is often a topic of conversation. She has very standout pieces or things that make her different and unique. Leo also represents children, so don't be afraid to be very playful and fun in your styling. A little bit like Gemini energy as well, going for looks that are very youthful and aren't taken too seriously, aren't taking yourself too seriously. And I think you can also see that in Doja Cat's energy, in that she always expresses she doesn't want you to take her too seriously, and she sometimes shows that through her style as well, as she plays around with different textures and looks and things that haven't really been done before, or been done for the purpose of I guess they have been done for a purpose of starting conversation, but she likes to start a conversation and I'm sure she's in the background giggling like, you guys are taking this way too seriously. I've moved very quickly through your sign, Leo, but in terms of your accessories and styling, I think your hair as just like a staple for you guys. Using your hair in a way, working with different styles or different colors of hair because of that kind of idea of a lion's mane, particularly if you have like a Leo ascendant or Venus coming through here. You could even emulate this if you have shorter hair or no hair with like a fur hat. I love a good fur hat, which kind of emulates that big lion's mane or big hair. Also designer items as well. If you are someone who is into designer items, but maybe you feel a bit guilty for being into them, that's fine, because you're Leo, you know, you like a little bit of luxury, you know. It's okay if you have the designer items that people know are designer items, and you know, they have their branding on them and that type of thing. I mean, maybe unless you have more so Scorpio energy or a Capricorn energy or different types of more subtle energy, you may not want to have it branded on your clothes so much, but you might also want to invest in luxury items. One person who does this with that kind of Leo essence is definitely Jackie Aina. I know she has a Leo sun, so you can kind of see how she is very obvious with her designer items. Like, she doesn't mind that the branding is on them and that you know that they are luxury items. When it comes to like jewelry, gold jewelry, hands down, gold jewelry, and also like jewels and gems. If you think about how crowns are just decorated in jewels and gems and that type of thing, I think really works well for you guys. Okay, that is everything that I have for you, Leo. Let me know how I did down below. Let me know if you relate to any of the things that I've mentioned about your style and fashion, and how you work it into your personal style on a day-to-day basis. Or maybe you haven't and you're like, I need to start doing that a bit more. And we're now going to move on to the sign of Virgo. So hi there, Virgo placements. Welcome to your style through your sign. To begin with, I've created this mood board for you, and I just want you to have a little look at it. What kind of things do you like about this mood board? Is it the colors? Is it the style? Is it the shape of the clothing? I don't know. Would you feel comfortable in these clothings or these colors? And what do you like about it and what don't you like about it? And then consider where Virgo is in your chart. What specific placements do you have in Virgo to work out how that is playing out for you? So Virgo is the virgin or the maiden. It leans towards naturalism, purity, and it strives for perfection. Ruled by Mercury, for people with this sign, things have to be in place. Comes out in your colors, things like beige, grey, brown, navy, and more so on like the nicer or colourful side, we do have like a very pale yellow or a deep purple. And Alyssa Sharp did a video on midhavens. She did speak about Virgo midhavens, and I kind of wish she had finished that series, I'm not gonna lie. But she mentioned the colours as well, red, navy blue and gold. I didn't necessarily see those colours coming out a lot, but I do want to mention them because you might want to branch into those colours, or you might also have an interest in those colours as well. Did I say brown? Also brown. So how these colours interact for you guys in your clothing is very plain and clear cut. You know, being exalted in Mercury, there is no confusion when it comes to the presentation of the colors that you're wearing. Where Gemini might have a lot of different colors, again, there was no confusion because it was more so blocked colors. And you guys have a fewer colors to play around with. Not saying you can't play around with any other colors, like this isn't a strict rule or regimen or anything, but I do find that Virgo placements often go towards the same kind of neutrals. They are the type of like influencers I see that like will have a whole feed of like just one tone or one color neutrals, and I'm like, how do you do that? I wish I could be that simplified and structured, but I can't. But they're the people who can do the same thing over and over again and be comfortable and happy in that it fulfills them. It makes them feel put together, and that's because Virgo also represents routine as well and structure. And like I said, they don't need to switch things up because they like simplicity. They like to know that they've got this in their wardrobe and that in their wardrobe, and they two go together, and I can put that with that. Like, they're the people who have the what wardrobe is it called, who have like the capsule wardrobes and just kind of go to the same pieces again and again, mix and match them, and are perfectly content and happy in that. Also, again, like we mentioned with Gemini, monochromatic pairings of colors, really flattering for you guys. I particularly love this picture of Bella Hadid, who has like more so that kind of indigo, purple, almost ruddy tone, I guess like a burgundy toned monochromatic color pairing, working with different fabrics as well to make your outfit still interesting. How this then looks on the body for you guys, I mean, as the sign of perfectionism and precision, Virgo placements, your fashion sense is very clean and put together. There is kind of like a length or straightness to your look. I actually have a Virgo sidereal, so Virgo ascendant in my sidereal chart, so I'm very like straight, you know, like there's not a lot of curvature to my body, and I think this comes out in the way I like my clothing to be. Like, for example, these sleeves are very straight and elongate my arms, they elongate everything. So think straight leg trousers or tailored trousers. Even when there's something that appears a bit more flowy, like for example in this image where the trousers, like, you know, they flare at the bottom, but there's still a very much so straightness to her whole look as a whole. And I think the Virgo body type really does play into this. Virgo also rules over the abdomen, so the stomach area, and I think it is very flattering when Virgos choose outfits that kind of bring attention to their stomach. This might also relate to the fact that Virgos are known to have sensitive stomachs, so for example, if you are bloating or something like that, you might not want something that's super constrictive around there, but then alternatively you may not want to show that off as well. It depends on how you feel about that, I guess. They're also known to be pretty health conscious, or the ones who, I guess, actually listen to their body and listen to what their body needs, have kind of thought about maybe their gut health and stuff like that, and I know that can help with bloating. So I'm just trying to like layer these things together. Like, it's never just one thing, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but so they may naturally just have like a more structure, a more petite style body. You can particularly see the styling when it comes to Zendaya. She has a Virgo sun, I believe. You see in her styling, she really plays into like this kind of straight, very up down kind of look to her. She often has her stomach out, and yeah, she's just wearing very simple yet aesthetic, clean pieces. In terms of your patterns and prints, for you guys, polka dots and stripe. I think it just gives the energy of something very clean, clear cut, straight to the point. Straight to the point is the polka dots, clear cut is the stripes. I mean, you can play around with like some asymmetric stripes, you can play around with stars instead of spots, like, you know what I mean, like that kind of repetition of pattern, which is a little bit more Uranus energy. But I think just like the very simple pattern, a very like obvious pattern as well, really works best for you guys. Again, working back in with the style and aesthetics with you guys, there's almost a conservativeness to Virgo placements as well. And these people may be told, particularly when they were younger, that they were prude or, you know, not very reserved. And I feel this comes out in their style through kind of like a reserved representation. Again, the colors are very neutral, it's very laid back. And again, depending on other placements, this may be shown very differently. But yeah, not wearing very loud colors or very extravagant pieces like a Leo would. I think again, with this kind of long style, elongated styling to you guys, things like a long lined cardigan would work really well for you. Again, Zendaya really does this well with her, how she is styled. I know she doesn't necessarily style herself, but often when celebrities get positive compliments, affirmations, or are spoken about a lot for a certain area, it's because they are really playing in to their placements or playing into their midhavens. Like I said about how people get spoken about in a positive or negative way depending on how they adhering to their midhaven, because your midhaven is the way that the image you project into the world, and it's kind of how you are accepted by the masses or the wider world or community. Two celebrities who have really demonstrated this transition, or not so great transition, is Justin Bieber and Kim Kardashian. So Kim Kardashian, first of all, now that she is very much simplified her style, she wears very monochrome outfits, she keeps it very safe, very simplistic, and that is when she gets praised the most for her fashion and her styling. Now she is a fashion icon, you know. She gets spoken about her when it comes to her fashion, because she is now playing into this perception that the public want to project onto her. So it's almost like your midhaven is in my mind anyway, how I conceptualize it, is what the public want to project, what they feel comfortable projecting onto you. And when you listen to that, when you play into that, they're like nice and happy, clap, clap, clap. But when you're Justin Bieber, who has a Pisces sun, so his midhaven and sun are opposite each other, and as we will come to find with Pisces, they have a bit more of a slouchier, very, very, very relaxed look, not so put together look, which Justin Bieber likes to play into a lot, which is the opposite of Virgo energy. So when he plays into that look, the image that keeps going around of him and Hailey Bieber together, I actually put this video together before that image came out, so I'm glad I have this very clear example now of how he does this. Is he really doesn't look put together here. You know, he doesn't look put together here, and he really gets ridiculed or criticized for the fact that he is not playing into this perception, that this projection that people are placing on him. He does have a Pisces sun, so I think it's a little bit harder for him to feel comfortable in that role that people want him to be in. So yeah, Justin Bieber doesn't really play into his midheaven, and it often gets talked about a lot. I did find these two kind of images, or this one image of when he's wearing a very simplistic, very Virgo inspired outfit. You know, he's got the tailored trousers on, all the colors that complement each other. It's monochromatic, it's navy. It is, I think it looks great on him, to be honest, and I think he just looks very clean, and yeah, like you wanna, like even his shirt is tucked in. Like Justin Bieber's got his shirt tucked in, bro. But anyway, you can get, I think you can get what I mean here, where how that Virgo energy can play out. Especially if you have a Virgo midheaven, then let me know if you want to do, if you want to see me do a midheaven series like this, like when it comes to like branding and stuff like that. Like I would love to start researching more a little bit into that as well, as something I'm interested in. And Alyssa never finished her video, so if she didn't finish it, I'ma finish it. She never finished her series where she really looked into midheavens, so I think it's a really interesting point in terms of like branding, styling, that type of thing. So maybe if you're like an entrepreneur, you want to start your own brand or something like that, or you want to just present yourself well into the world, then maybe that'd be something you're interested in. Anyway, moving on to fabrics now. Personally, I didn't find like a specific fabric that I think represents Virgo, like just, you know, Virgo as it is. If you feel like there's anything that you are often drawn to, then feel free to comment that down below. But I think in general, Virgos opt for fabrics that are low maintenance because, you know, they are known for their perfectionist tendencies. I feel like Virgos will really dislike fabrics that crease really easily or bring a lot of retention to you. Like this fabric, for example, is really great because it's crinkly. It doesn't need ironing. It doesn't need me to do anything apart from put it on. It's very simple and easy. And like I said, I do have my ascendant there in my sidereal chart, so I also like fabrics or clothing that is just doesn't need a lot of faff. It doesn't need me to keep altering it or pulling it up or putting it down. Like those are the kind of worst. Whenever I wear outfits like that, I just don't enjoy wearing the outfit. It's annoying. I don't want to do it, but sometimes I still make the mistake. But like I said, you guys are kind of hyper aware of details. I guess the less details to be aware of, the less stress you're going to feel. Following that statement, some fabrics which may be thought of as or considered low maintenance are things like cotton, linen, because linen doesn't necessarily look bad when it's creased. It's kind of, you know, thought of as like, oh yeah, linen creases. It kind of goes with the fabric, you know. Things like wool, crepe, nylon, tweed, or suede. Again, with depending on where this Virgo energy is in your chart, you may be very into researching your clothing as well. Like you really want to find the best pieces that, or opt for higher quality pieces because you know you won't have to keep repurchasing them. You know that they're going to be long lasting and stand the test of time, because Virgo is that earth energy. It's very grounded and logical, and it wants to kind of make sure that you're making the right purchase for yourself, especially if it's in your second house. Finally, when it comes to accessories and styling, I think Virgo looks best under the warmth of gold jewelry. Especially keeping it very, very simple. You know, it represents those day-to-day chores, work as well, and you don't want something that's super impractical. So stick to very small, dainty pieces like a simple chain, a simple banded ring, or a bracelet that's really nice to you. Like I'm looking at the palette that I have already made for you guys, and I'm like, this is good. Like it pleases something inside of me when I see it, even though I'm very much so like but I like to over accessorize, and that's just my Aquarius nature coming through that. But that is everything that I have for Virgo. Now we're going to move on to our next sign, which is Libra. Okay, Libra, hi. I'm very excited. Like I just got so much excitement when I came to your pile, because I mean I keep calling it a pile. when I came to you guys because I do have a Libra ascendant in my tropical chart, so I'm very much so very happy about to be speaking on Libra right now. So first of all, I have made a mood board for you guys, so I want you to just look over this mood board and consider if you feel like it represents a version of you. Would you feel comfortable in these outfits or confident in these outfits? Do you like these outfits but you wouldn't necessarily reach for these outfits? Is it the colors? Is it the cut? Like, what is it about this? And then consider how this relates to your specific Libra placement. So being ruled by Venus, much like Taurus is, those of you with Libra placements are naturally fashionable, whether you know it or not. Libra is the sign of balance and harmony. So when it comes to your personal style, you work towards outfit pairings that look very easy on the eye. If you see me glancing over here, it's because my notes are here. Sorry about that. I forgot to say that, but yeah. So in terms of colors, you guys have quite a few colors that you can play around with. Obviously the basic white and black being on the spectrum there. Things like blue, green, pink being a main color for you guys because of Venus energy. Purple, yellow, crimson red, or just red, and grey as well. So in terms of how these colors interact for you guys, again, because of the element of balance and harmony associated with your sign, wearing complementary color pairings. So using the color theory, these are colors that are across each other on the color wheel. They are also color pairings that are very feminine and soft in nature because of that element of Venus for you guys. How this looks on your body, I think very like A-line kind of styling. Anything that accentuates your bum or your lower back, because Libra does rule over the buttocks. So you may prefer something that's a little bit more fitted on the bottom half. And I think as well, your Libra can really play into like the style over comfort. Obviously that is depending on your other placement. I mentioned in Virgo how Virgos don't like to faff around with their clothing too much, and I do have a Virgo sidereal rising, so I do like that concept as well, but sometimes I will just do like style over comfort. I'm gonna regret it every single time, but I'm gonna still do it. So that's what I mean, like sometimes it is style over comfort for you guys. Also things like low-waisted trousers. I'm on the low-waisted trousers trend. Like, I love it. I don't know what it is, but I love it. And some people absolutely hate that. So let me know if you have a Libra placement and whether you are for or against low-waisted trousers. So again, with the style and aesthetics for you guys, very feminine and soft. Your styling should be able to translate easily into any environment. Again, you're about creating harmony. So if you're going to meet your partner's parents for the first time, for example, like you're really going to be thinking about, is this outfit, not consciously, obviously, maybe not consciously, maybe you are, but you're really be considering, is this outfit going to bring harmony into the situation, and you're going to dress accordingly. Because you are the sign, you know, Libra represents others, so your style choices is sometimes about pleasing others as much as it's about pleasing yourself. And I think sometimes this can go into more of that like girl next door type of vibe as well. Aesthetic that I really think looks great on you guys and it's represented by your sign is the ballet core aesthetic, because Venus rules over dance. And I associate ballet specifically to Libra because, like I say, Venus also rules Taurus, so it could be either, but I think that ballet just has this kind of light, airy feel to it. Libra is an air sign opposed to Taurus, which is that kind of more grounded earth sign energy. So specifically for an aesthetic, I am going to put the ballet core into Libra's category, because again, that very light, airy style to it. It's actually a trend I want to dabble a bit more into because I think it's really, really dainty and pretty. And yeah, I love it a lot. So if it's a trend that you've been seeing and you're like, is that just going to pass, or am I actually going to enjoy that for a long time? Then if you have a Libra placement, you're probably going to enjoy that for a long time. In terms of like the patterns and prints for you guys, things like frills and ruffle patterns, and I cannot tell you why I think this for Libra placements, but I just do, and I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like this, when fabric just flows, maybe it's that air element, like air kind of like has this kind of energy to it, this kind of flow to it. So I think this in your clothing looks very light and playful and fun, airy and lovely, and just love it. So the fabrics for you guys again is very flowy and airy fabrics, things like linen or chiffon or cotton that is a little bit wrinkled, things that look like they've had movement, they've lived a life. They've lived a life. And last but not least, for your accessories and styling, definitely playing around with jewelry because of the element of Venus, particularly accessorizing using bows as well. Bows are currently very in right now, and I guess Libra in general would really represent a lot of trends because it does represent fashion. So the bow trend plays a lot into the sign of Libra. Again, bows, ribbons, and also hearts as well because of love. Libra represents love. Well, it represents relationships really, but we have love and relationships, right? And harmony, and there's love and harmony. So yeah, I think like things that have hearts on them as well, very cutesy. Okay, that's everything that I have for Libra, guys. Let me know how I did down below if you have a Libra placement. And now we're going to move on to Scorpio. So hi there, if you have a Scorpio placement, then this is the part of the video for you. I have created this mood board for you guys, and I want to give you a bit of time to look over it, look at the colors, look at the styles. Is there anything that stands out to you? Is there anything that you particularly feels like represents a version of you, or you feel like you would be drawn to or wear? Think about how this relates to your specific Scorpio placement. So if Cancer is the top of the sea, Scorpio is the deep, often unexplored parts of the ocean. Being traditionally ruled by Mars and now Pluto in the modern rulership, Scorpio energy is felt, but it slowly reveals itself. In terms of personal style, this can look a bit like, when we're looking at the colors in particular, a very autumn color palette. Purples, browns, teals, deep reds like a blood red, grey and black as well. How these colors interact for you guys, like we said, Scorpio is those deep murky waters, so very murky, dirty, dark colors, things like brown. You know, Scorpio has that energy of like wading through uncharted territories. So thinking like swamps and places where people don't really want to go. Or if you do, you don't know what you're going to find. Also red as well because of that Mars energy, which I think brings a bit more vibrancy to your outfit at times. Also colors that have a luminosity to them, because when you often see images of like the deep dark ocean, you can see like light just peering through, peeking through, kind of creating this luminous effect. So how this all fits on the body for you guys, I think for you guys, very tight fitted clothing because of the way Scorpio's energy likes to keep its cards close to its chest. Even if we're doing oversized clothing, I think there is like there's an element of layering. So wearing kind of tight fitted clothing underneath, for example, you have a shirt and then you have like a turtleneck on, or you have a vest underneath or something like that. Like I said, layering really plays into you guys because Scorpio is like, you know, that's a fixed water sign. It can take time for Scorpio placements to open up. It's kind of like that sound bite from Shrek where he's like, ogres have layers. onions have layers, you know, like it's very Scorpio with their kind of layers being slow to reveal themselves. So in a literal sense, in terms of your styling, playing into layerings of clothing, working with different types of fabrics as you layer to make your style more interesting as well. Also style your clothes in a way that makes you look taller. So high-waisted trousers or short crop tops or long line cardigans or tops. I kind of think of, I can't remember her name, but the one from the Addams Family, the mother. Why can I not think of her name? But the way she has like this very long black kind of, is it a top or a cardigan or styling to her? There is also a kind of sensuality to your outfit pairings as well, because Scorpio does rule over the reproductive system and sex. And I mean, this can look different on everyone depending on religious preferences, styling preferences, etc, etc. I really like this particular image for this because it has a kind of sensuality or provocativeness to the outfit, but it isn't actually revealing. And I think this can kind of be how it plays out for you guys. Like there's always like this lure, but it isn't obvious, it's not in your face. So like I say, Scorpio energy is felt before it is seen or before it is understood or known, in a way in your style that kind of comes out with the layering and the I think I'm making up words now, but the provocativeness without the obviousness. A specific aesthetic associated with you guys, or I've associated with you guys, is the subversive fashion styling. The key words actually associated with this style of clothing is overthrow, destroy, corrupt, overthrowing authority, words that are very Platonic in nature, very Mars in nature. This aesthetic in particular plays around with layering as well. The kind of juxtaposition between exposure and privacy, and the idea of deterioration, why can't I say that word? Deterioration. The idea of deterioration, I feel like I'm saying that word very weirdly. Deterioration. There it is. The idea of deterioration in order to create something different and new. Very Scorpionic, very Platonic. Also gives you the opportunity to play around with different textures. And since your color scheme isn't that vast, I think the kind of more you play around with different fabrics and textures, it's really gonna make your outfits exciting as well. Specific style elements for you guys, these may be things like glass beads, because the process is very Mars-like, the kind of fire and burning to create something very beautiful and also quite delicate as well. Also styling that kind of has this bondage type nature to it because of its kind of provocativeness, also its association with power and dominance, which is Platonic again, as well as lace and also wearing lingerie as an outfit, which I think we've kind of seen a lot recently, or isn't something that, it sounds weird but actually it's not that weird, you know, like kind of like that baby doll, is it a baby doll kind of styling, but it's like a lingerie style, but very much lace, because again it has that kind of transparency to it, nakedness, but also not. Pluto is very, I mean, Pluto, Scorpio is very contradictory, I guess you could say. I guess it is the extremes, so it's like naked, now you're not naked. So lace is kind of like you're peering through a obscured lens, you are looking into something but you can't quite make out all the details, you can't quite see all the way through. A bit like looking into murky or dirty water, exploring the deep ocean. For the patterns and prints for you guys, so reptilian prints, so things like snake print or crocodile print or something like that, I think would look really great on you guys if you play into those specific patterns or prints, as well as the zebra print as well. I feel that because of The stripes are kind of like zebra stripes are often associated with a kind of camouflage or a kind of confusion that can happen when predators are trying to get to zebras. So I think, as well as the fact it's mostly a white and black, like the two kind of extremes next to each other, stark contrast kind of vibe, which is pretty Scorpionic, like the two extremes. And if you want an idea or conceptualization of how the Scorpio energy can manifest, particularly when it comes to fashion, again bringing up Doja Cat, she has a Scorpio Venus, and she really plays into the whole like taboo, breaking away from trying to destroy ideologies or norms through her clothing, wearing a lot of gothic, dark, deep clothing. Scorpio is also quite macabre as well, but like death. But the thing with Scorpio, it's not death for dying, it's death for regeneration. So doing things for shock factor, or it has a kind of shock factor to it as well, I feel like. But I feel it has it only has a shock factor to it because Scorpio is about the unseen. You don't want to, it's the things you explore in private, right? So Doja Cat is bringing that to the surface, bringing that to the public. So there is this kind of like shock factor, like, oh, she should have kept that to herself. Why is she wearing that? She should have kept that in her wardrobe. So if you ever feel like you're getting kind of that kind of feeling or reaction through your clothing, you're probably on the right tracks. So again, talking about fabrics, things like silk, because of the literal process of silk that is made, like real silk, because Scorpio does rule over insects. I won't go into the process too much, but you can look that up for yourself if you want. But lace and also scuba material. I mean, if you're going to dive in the ocean, you're going to need some scuba material. So yeah, those three fabrics in particular. All your accessories and styling, things like chains, again play into that bondage, that restriction that can happen with Scorpio energy. Face wear like balaclava, because it brings attention to the eyes only, you know, that saying of like Scorpio eyes, very Scorpionic eyes that draw you in, has an air of mystery about it and privacy about it. I mean, people wear balaclavas to do the things that they should not be doing, like rubber blank or something, I don't know. And if you want to play into kind of accessories as well, wearing things that are like butterfly inspired or snake inspired as well. So that is everything that I have for you Scorpio placements, and that is also the end of part 3 of this video. That is the next 4 signs done, and we have 1 more left to go. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and let me know by commenting down below. I really appreciate your thoughts on the video and how it related to you and your personal style. If you want to see more from me, I post mostly spiritual and lifestyle content, and you can subscribe down below or somewhere on the screen, I believe. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye. Have to experience it.